Woo, here we go. You excited, Trevor?
All right, let's do it.
All right. Where are you where are you originally from, man?
I'm from St. Pete, Florida, actually. It's like pretty much 20 minutes outside of Tampa. Um, it's a really cool place because it kind of feels like a small town. Pretty much everybody knows each other in the arts community. At the same time, it's a big enough city where it doesn't feel like a small town, if that makes sense. Like it
Yeah,
has all
I'm
the
with you.
amenities of a bigger city with like the comfort of a small town, which is really cool.
That's really nice. Yeah. What were you doing for fun as a kid? What were you getting into?
A lot of skateboarding, a lot of running around the neighborhood with, no shoes on, Florida kind of stuff, jumping over my brothers on bikes and, classic, neighborhood trouble kind of stuff, basically,
Oh
as a
yeah.
young kid. Um, and then, all that pretty much dropped at like, must have been 12, 11 or 12 when I started playing drums, and all my friends stayed inside after that. Pretty much just playing
What
music.
and let me ask you this. 'Cause I don't know the geographical area of Florida, but how close are you to Miami? What is the distance?
So I'm about 4 hours north, and then on the west coast of Florida, so on the
Man.
Gulf side.
Okay, gotcha. So I mean, you were obviously just going around there all the time as like a 7-year-old, right? I mean, like just you solo going
Yeah,
down there 4 hour
just running
trek.
around. Yeah, yeah, mostly walking.
Yeah,
About 16 hours walking. Yeah,
you got a good stride, you got a good pace going. I'm
at
assuming.
7 I did. Yeah, it's gone downhill since
I understand.
then. I peaked at 7, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's it. I mean,
Yeah,
at least you acknowledge it though.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
But what age did you started playing drums? You said around what high school age?
It was actually fourth grade. To be honest, it was
Whoa.
something I've always wanted to do. Um, I remember as young as I could be, pretty much the only two things I wanted to do were fly planes and play drums. And I don't know why those two things and why drums specifically. Um, but I have a memory of like, I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and my dad bought me my first boombox from Circuit City. And I remember like sitting on it and just like beating on it. And he yelled at me, like, "Why are you hitting it?" And I was like, "I'm drumming, man. Like I'm drumming. I'm a drummer." And like that's like a very specific memory of like I want to do that. So it was kind of just like I kept asking for a drum set, and for again like 12th, 11, 12th birthday, something like that, I got a drum kit for Christmas. And actually, let me go back. I got a snare drum with one cymbal that attached to it.
Sick. Was it
um,
was it a crash or a ride?
it was a
What are you
tiny
working
little
with?
splash. It was about this
Oh, a
big,
splash. Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah.
actually attached on where you tune your drum. So you had to take off a key, put it on, and attach it. I don't know. My parents basically said, learn your rudiments for a whole year. Make sure you want to do this before we buy you a drum kit. And I did, just every day practicing rudiments. And then learning how to play with just the one cymbal and a snare drum, playing beats like that. And so once the drum kit came, it was kind of just like hopped on and knew how to play more or less. Um,
That's great,
kind
man.
of, it's
Right,
for,
right.
my 11-year-old self, I could play a beat, which was something.
Th-
So
That is, and that's a step in the right direction for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first kit that I got, I also had a splash, and it was like a used one. I mean, because like as you know, it's like, yeah, I'm interested in this, but I'm not gonna like buy the top of the line shit
Sure.
immediately. So I found this guy off of Craigslist, and it was a splash little symbol, like you were saying, and it was already cracking at the bell.
Oh God.
And then so like I was like, all right. So, and then like I played it for years, and then
Yeah.
like it started to like just kind of work its way around the whole circumference of the bell.
Yeah.
And then finally one day I just saw it just and it fell through. I was like, that's
Shatter.
awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
it fell through. Really? That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I mean, because like I was trying
Yeah.
this. I was like, okay, well, it's like moving in the direction.
Hmm.
This will be cool to see. And finally it did. I was like, all right.
How long did you plan it for? How long did it last for?
I mean, it lasted quite a while. Like I
Really?
wasn't, yeah. So it wasn't immediate, but
Yeah.
like I was like, all right, like I was
Today's
stoked
the
on it.
day. Yeah.
It was a good day. It was a good day, but I was
Like
like,
putting your cat
shit,
down or something. You're like, ah, man, sorry, you're too beat up, man. It's like, this is
I wouldn't
it.
equate it to that.
No, no.
No. Um, but yeah, and then, but then I was like, shit, I'm out of a crash. So
Mhm.
I mean, eventually I got another one, but yeah. So I see what you're saying with the splash symbol.
Yeah.
I got good memories of that as well.
I might still have it actually, to be honest with you. It might be in my parents' garage somewhere. I don't know. I have
That's
no idea.
sick though. If you do
Yeah.
have it, oh
I'm
man.
thinking, I don't know. I feel like it might be there. I feel like I could find it. Let's see.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll bust it back out for next tour.
No, yeah, yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Just hanging it on that wall. You got some blank space over there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be good. Maybe if I
Smash
could
it.
find mine, I'll hang that up too.
Hell yeah.
How far along were you in learning the drums when you started to make music? When did that come about?
I actually found kind of a group of friends in middle school. Actually, I guess I joined band. I joined band in sixth grade. And you actually had to try out to be a percussionist, which was kind of funny. Um, so I tried out, I made it, and that's how I actually made some of my best friends in middle school was band. So we were all kind of music nerds, more or less. So like I said, like instead of I don't know, doing whatever else, we would all get together on any weekends and just bust out all our guitars and drums and like, literally play in our garage and bedrooms. And like, there's a very early recording. Probably the first one we ever like fully recorded was "I'm Not Okay" by My Chemical Romance, and we didn't know any, mixing or anything. My friend had like a direct to CD like recording setup, basically like DAW,
Sick.
not DAW, but yeah, direct to CD. And
I mean, fuck direct to tape when you could just go
yeah,
direct to CD.
I don't even know how he got that, because at the time it was like okay technology for the most part. I mean, um, so yeah, I mean it was panned completely wrong. Like my friend decided to do screaming vocals on it for some reason, which no one wanted, but he wanted to do. So um, yeah, that was kind of the start. All of it was just um, doing that. And we started our very first band called Candlefire Avalanche.
I like the name. Creative.
Yeah, it was we had this one song called Witch's Brew, and I wish I could find it because it was awful. I mean, like this weird kind of mix of like Queen meets like
Miles Davis.
yeah, maybe. I don't even know if it's like that profound even at all, but yeah, I mean that's how it started, just like my music nerd friends just jamming all together, and that's about it.
I mean, and then you're off and running, huh?
Yeah, I played through middle school, and then I was lucky enough to in St. Pete, we have like magnet programs basically for high school. So I went to a performing arts school where all of my friends went as well.
Oh, you
Which
guys
was
were the elite. You guys were like the
yeah,
top
you had
tier,
to you had to
obviously.
try out, and it was like orchestral jazz, band percussion. So like the tryout was timpani, mallets, snare drum, and a drum kit piece, and you had to sight read. You had to like it was a
And you're
pretty
like,
intense
I got
process.
this snare drum part. I got
Yeah,
it, man. Yeah. No, but
yeah.
you were with like the elite people though. That was your. I mean, like your
Didn't
crew.
know at the time, but yeah, it turned out all of my friends were incredibly talented people. I think just naturally, a lot of them actually ended up going to Berkeley and doing a few things like that.
Wow.
Film scores and all sorts of it's music, so they're doing all sorts of things. But I think a majority of my friends ended up going to either Berkeley Conservatory or Boston Conservatory, sorry, Berkeley, or any of like the major music schools. But we had resources. I mean, I actually dropped out of high school. Um, yeah, it's kind of a weird paradox where I spent a lot of my time actually like playing, and um, we had a full blown recording studio at our school, and basically we stole the key and made a copy of it and would skip and just spend all day recording. So I got my education in like music, but did
In
not get a
theft, in
yeah,
in in
yeah.
being a grifter.
Yeah, I didn't do it. Like all of a sudden this key showed up and we were in there all the time. So
Sure, sure,
yeah.
right. Yeah. I
um
get it.
yeah.
Legality. Yeah.
Yeah, I have
What's
no
the
idea how it got there, but the door is open. So
right, right.
um but yeah, and that was through there kind of just progressed with networking with other musicians out of high school, just trying to kind of join bands. Yeah, I mean it I ended up also like really meeting a great group of people pretty early on right out of high school, um who asked me to be a part of their band, who were already playing gigs and stuff. They are called Sonic Graffiti. They're still a band. um and I played with them for 2 or 3 years. Um, and that was my first like touring experience, shows, I mean, all of that kind of stuff. And it really was like one show, and it just has been snowballing pretty much since that first show, it kind of seems.
That's insane. How did your parents take it when you broke it to them? Like, I'm done with this.
The funny thing is my dad's an assistant principal at the school system.
Sorry, pops, I'm not
Yeah.
making it.
I mean, they're not ignorant to the situation. They've always known the kind of person I am, where it's obviously don't do well in like a typical school situation. I don't typically do well in like, of course, like a 9 to 5 job. Like it just doesn't click. Kind of. I just don't. I just don't do well. So they knew what was going on. It was actually I was halfway through senior year when I dropped out.
Oh
Actually,
my gosh, dude, you couldn't just
yeah,
hang
yeah,
on
yeah.
for just a little
No,
bit?
well, I had to get extra credits. I'd have to go back, and I didn't want to be like a super senior. And I knew I wasn't going to go to college. I knew I wanted to just like tour. Um, so yeah, one day I basically went in, and they kind of spelled out the options. I was like, I want to drop out. My dad came in, and that was kind of it. It was a weird thing where I was just out of school and kind of working, and went to like a semester of community college, and that was kind of it. Um,
Rad. Did you finish a semester or no?
yeah, I finished the semester.
All right, all
I
right,
did
that's good.
fine. Yeah, I did well, but I was like, I'm spending all this like, my parents were helping me pay for it, and I was just like, I don't want to spend their money. It's not for me, not what I want right now. So basically, just hit the road more or less.
I
Uh,
mean, hey, at
more
least
or less.
you had a passion to do something.
I guess so. Yeah, it's kind of a weird like. I talk to my brother about this kind of often, where he's like trying to find what he wants to do, and he's always kind of said like he's not jealous, but he's always thought it's interesting. I always knew what I want to do, but I always kind of thought it was like a weird. I'm not gonna say curse, but like I don't know what else I would do, if that makes sense. Like I
Yeah,
do a lot
yeah,
of other things to make money and different things, but like in an ultimate thing, it's kind of my only option. In a way, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah. It's your passion. So it's what you want to be doing, and not a lot of people could say, "Hey, I'm doing what I want, exactly what I want to do."
Yeah, or at least know what they even want to do. I think a lot of people have a hard time even finding what they truly actually want to do. So
Right. I mean that's fantastic that you found that so young and were able to pursue it.
yeah, definitely. I feel lucky. I feel very lucky, actually.
You are very lucky, Trevor. Let me tell you,
Thank you.
because some of us, even now, I don't want to be doing this. This
All right. Well, let's end. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
mean, hey, it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, it is really special when you find out at least something that you want to do, but you found the thing, which is just phenomenal.
Absolutely. And it's
Yeah,
weird though, because you kind of go back and forth to even still to this day of like, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff you can do out there. And sometimes touring and being in a band is very limiting to what you can do outside of that when it comes to touring 4 months out of the year, whatever, leaving so often, it really um, strikes off a lot of like job opportunities and things like that. But,
it narrows it, and it's a funnel. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, totally. We find our
Um.
ways.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and it's a big part of life. But you got that figured out, which is, I mean, look at you, man.
Recently.
Yeah, I mean, it's
you know?
done though. It's finished. That's
Yeah,
marked off.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which is good. So I mean, did you leave Florida? I mean, like when you were kind of done with the whole school thing, and you're starting to explore and expand, going out and
So
tour
I
and whatnot.
actually stayed in St. Pete for quite a while. I was in Sonic Graffiti, who was in St. Pete. I ended up meeting this other band called Plastic Pinks from Miami, and
I
they
don't know.
actually
It's a pretty big trek. I don't know,
it is,
Trevor. I
yeah.
mean,
I
it's
mean,
pretty
well,
far.
it ended up being all together like a lot of hours driving down to Miami. But yeah, they picked me up for one tour. They were going to South by, and they needed a drummer, and it was like it was like 2 weeks before they were leaving for tour, and they called me and they're like, we don't know what we're doing, their drummer quit, can you come? And I was like, yes. Like I kind of have a thing of like, for the most part, opportunities like that I will say yes to, like I think those are very life-changing opportunities, which it was, because that was my first taste of like, you know, South by. And I mean, I met like some of my really good friends, like the Nude Party and Broncho, and like I'd say like 80% of my friends and community now I met on that original South by tour.
Wow, man.
Um, yeah,
That's
so doing that, I stuck with Plastic Pinks for 2 years. Um, and then on tour, I met my fiance, Devin, who actually works right now for Levitation and Greenway. She does all the graphic design and a million other things for them.
that's killer. Those is the art over there is awesome. That's right.
Well,
Represent it.
yeah.
We're not
uh,
promoting stuff right now, though.
Not
Okay,
at
Trevor,
all. No,
can
no,
you
no, no.
just wait? Okay, all right. We're not.
No, not at all.
No, nope.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not promoting anything. But you know who does have a good deal right now? Speaking of just good deals and whatnot, is Domino's. And if you go to their website, if you type in the Vineyard, you'll be able.
Wait, actually,
Oh,
oh,
could
it's
you
like, oh,
imagine that? No,
that's cool. That's great.
no,
Affiliate marketing, man. That's great.
that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Looking out for you, Domino's. Yeah. Are
If
you?
you're
Are
listening,
you?
we're here.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're here. We are ready for sponsorship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I met Devin actually at I don't know if you're familiar with the music festival. It's a smaller festival in upstate New York called Meltasia.
Yes,
Uh,
I actually have one of their old posters hanging up on my
cool.
wall right
Hell
now.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's awesome. Yeah, I met Devin at Meltasia, and very long story short, she ended up coming to Europe with us and shot our band for 2 weeks through UK and France. And then we basically fell in love. I'm just gonna say that we completely fell in love. And within like a month's time, it was like, you should move to New York. Slash, this band Acid Dad lost their drummer and they need a drummer. Would you want to try out, kind of thing? And it was just like really, really weirdly worked out.
I
Um,
mean, you got to have a movie made about your life, dude. You're meeting this chick up in New York. Hey, come to Europe.
yeah.
And she invites you back. Oh my gosh, man.
Yeah. And
Dude,
so
you're
we're
living a life.
engaged, and yeah.
I
I
can
got really
see
lucky
why,
again.
dude.
But yeah, so
That's crazy. So I mean, like immediately following that tour, you just packed up everything and moved up there?
more or less, it was a very, very quick decision. I had Plastic Pinks. We were doing pretty well. Like, you
Obviously, yeah,
know,
touring in Europe.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were on the up and coming. There ended up being, I think it ended up just like a lot of people started doing their own thing. The two singers started their own project, actually a Latin trap project. They've wanted to start for a really long time. Um, so they started doing that. Our guitarist Rod started a band called Glove, which they're really up and coming band right now. So he was putting a lot of time in that. And I saw all these people doing different things, and I kind of saw myself getting left in the dust a little bit, in a sense of like, we're not putting as much time into Plastic Pinks. I need to start making moves to start going up and not plateau. And it just happened to be this great opportunity again. So yeah, I made these tapes, basically a few like demos to send to Acid Dad. And then they flew me up for like an industry night show they were doing in
So you had to
Manhattan.
fly past Miami. That's what you're telling me. You went a little bit beyond Miami.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
4 hour
Yeah.
drive.
Yeah. I took a 2-hour plane trip, which is, yeah. So did an industry night kind of like as a tryout. They flew me out. I hung out. It was a great time. And then the next month they were like, well, if you can move up, you can be a part of the band. And that was pretty much it. I mean, moved up here, and yeah, I mean, Acid Dad and those dudes are honestly my best friends. And I've kind of like, Harry from Greenway is one of my best friends as well. Pretty much all of my work partners are the people I hang out with every day. And I would probably, if we weren't work partners either. So
That's tight. That's really
yeah,
rad, man. That's
yeah,
I mean, every time you think you're going down, it's just nope, you're gonna skyrocket back up.
yeah,
It
you
must
got
be
to like,
nice, Trevor. Must be nice. No, you have to. That doesn't work for everybody else though. So enjoy it.
it's a whole lot
No,
of hard work though, man. I'm not telling you all I don't
no,
know.
you're
A lot of
telling
stuff
me
in
it was
between.
easy as shit, and this was over the span of what, a couple months? Yeah,
Yeah, a
this
couple
was.
months,
No,
and basically all I
I meant
did
like the whole thing, like from.
was Netflix, weed, and like sleep, and that's all you need. And
Mm,
it's just falls in your hands. No.
Yeah, that's it. Those are what they won't tell you. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is like a master class at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice. But
Exactly.
you had no clue who Acid Dad was prior to the initial trip up to New York for Melteza. I have had this poster up forever. I never knew how to say it. You said Melteza?
Meltasia. Yeah, like melt
Melteza.
Asia. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now. I just
What
don't know
year
how to
was
say
it?
it.
Did you go?
I did not go. I just got this
Oh, gotcha.
this thing, but I will tell you, this is 2018.
18, is that what you said?
18, yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
August.
So we did, I think we were at 17. 2017 was the year we went.
So you're telling me I have the wrong poster up? That's what you're telling me?
Yeah, you got to get rid of it.
Okay.
Yeah, immediately. Yeah. So I'd heard of Acid Dad just through like my own kind of studies and just trying to know the landscape of all the bands who, you know, we could potentially play with and all that stuff. I didn't know them though. I met them at South by in 2000, must have been 17. I think it was 2017, or maybe it was 2018. Either way, I met them and hung out with Sean and Vaughn very, very briefly. I mean, it was like an hour of just like hanging out. So yeah, they really kind of took a chance on me. But I think Devin, since she'd been working with Acid Dad for a really long time and had found other band members for them and stuff, um, she was really trustworthy. Also, Sean and Devin lived together for like 3 or 4 years. So, you know, they trusted Devin's word and again, got lucky. They did. Because they didn't know me. They really, really, really took a risk. I was some random kid from Florida, just like coming to join their project. And that's like, you know, even thinking now of like having someone else on, it's like, you know, that's impressive. Even
It's very insane, yeah.
yeah.
But it worked out, clearly.
Yeah, it worked out for them and it worked out for me too.
I like how you mentioned them before. Yeah, they were lucky enough to have me. I guess it was okay, fine as well.
I hope that I'm gonna send this to them like just to make sure they see that part.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
we'll clip it. We'll send it over to you.
Time clip it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's sorry. It's not a we. It's just me. So I will be. I'll just send it over to you.
I don't know why I said it. I actually, so I run like I do YouTube channel management and like SEO and stuff as kind of a side hustle. So yeah, sorry, I'm used to like that's what I do like all day is timestamps and like
Well,
description.
I'm happy to have you on my team, Trevor. I'm glad that we could have. This is actually a formal interview for you to come run the YouTube.
Let's do it. Let's talk, man. I'm down.
Yeah.
Definitely
Let's
down
chat.
to help out on the real.
No, I'm doing pretty good. I got like it's like 2 mil right now, almost 2 mil. Trying to get that mark.
that diamond plaque. Yeah.
No, I'm always super psyched whenever anybody views it because I mentioned this recently, is that nobody that I know listens to it really. So this is just like if even if it's like 6 people, it's like that's rad. I've never met those people.
Yeah.
So totally. I appreciate everybody who listens and watches, and I hope that you like it.
That's why they're watching.
Yeah,
we'll see the viewer retention rate. We'll check out your analytics.
We're checking those. Steep decline.
That's normal.
It's normal for you because, as we know, after you slide down, you bounce back just incredibly. So yeah. Must be nice again.
I'm blushing.
So what year were you did you move up there? What year were you like, all right, I'm leaving Florida. It's 2018, you said?
Yeah, I think it was like end of 2017 or 2018. Yeah, I think it was early 2018, I want to say.
And you're in Brooklyn, is that correct? Or Brooklyn area?
I'm actually in Queens right now. I'm in Ridgewood, Queens, but I originally moved to Bushwick when I first moved up. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of a shift was it for you?
It was really intense. I'm not going to lie. I really had a lot to adjust to. I didn't sleep very much. I already have like a really, really hard time sleeping in the first place. And then we lived.
And that was back in Florida as well. This was
as long as I
carried it up.
Yeah, it's
gotcha.
And it's actually gotten better since moving to Queens. But being in Bushwick, we're right off a huge stop, and we were first floor for a while too, and I would have someone like literally on their cell phone leaning against my window, and my head's right here. Basically, I look up and I'm seeing someone like talking on the phone.
No,
Like,
yeah, man, I'm outside.
yeah,
No,
literally,
I'm
literally.
outside, man.
And it's like 8 in the morning. I'm like, oh God. And we also live next to the front door in like a probably 20 unit building. So all 24/7, boom, 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 boom. Like our windows would shake. So,
And that was from
you
the
know,
door, you said? I'm assuming
like the
it's from
front
the.
door of the apartment complex. So, and just not to mention like just the sheer amount of people. Um, I actually, funny enough, too, kind of swore I never would move to New York. I really disliked New York. Every time I'd gone and toured here, I pretty much hated it. It was a shit show. I really did not like it. It was always a hard time. We gotten ripped off. Places are too small to stay half the time. Hotels are too expensive. All those things. And all my friends loved it, and I was just like, I don't care for this. Um, so yeah, in the beginning it was kind of difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, there was quite a few like nights being out at bars, and there's just like this with a million people. I'm like, what am I doing here? This is not me. I like nature and trees and like being on the beach or whatever. But
They got the
worth
beach
it.
over there. They
They
got
do
trees
actually. Funny
upstate.
enough, I went to the beach every single weekend when I first moved up here for like that entire summer, basically.
Just because it felt
And
like home, or it felt like some semblance of like
I didn't want to.
normality.
No, I didn't want
Oh,
to. It's just like friends, like or like whatever, just circumstance. And my dad like completely grilled me, like, you lived in Florida 25 years of your life, and then you moved to New York and you go to the beach every weekend. Like, shouldn't you go to like I don't know, like I don't know.
CBGBs. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, because that's
Mhm.
there.
That's why everybody's up in there, right? It's just like the one thing. It's CBGBs, right? It's
Yeah,
the
you can buy your
museum.
like $200 leather jacket there. It's sick.
Proud sponsor of this podcast is CBGBs, and just expensive leather shot jackets.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
mm,
Expensive leather. Brought to you by expensive leather.
just it's it's a conglomerate. It's a whole
Yeah,
thing.
it's an
Yeah,
industry.
yeah. Yeah. It they pay me a lot of money. I gotta say it. Okay, I get paid in leather. You want leather, dude? I got you, man. I
Yeah,
can
that's
send it
so
over.
sick. What a commodity.
It's not a jacket. It's just strictly
Just
hide.
leather, yeah.
Yeah, you still have to take the skin, the little the hair off. You still
Yeah,
have
that's
to
way more valuable though.
the skin.
Yeah,
Gosh dang
it's
it.
all skin. This is getting
It's
weird. Yeah.
essentially it's all skin. So I mean, so you're up there. You moved in, and
Mhm.
I mean, are you immediately playing shows? You're immediately just submerging yourself into this whole new just area and scene.
Yeah, pretty much I was thrown into a scene. Being, Sean and Devin were roommates, they all were friends. Devin um is a music photographer as well, obviously. So she shoots she we were going out probably 4 to 7 times a week to shows and just like bars and whatever else,
The
and
beach, yeah,
the
you got a
beach.
lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. So I was definitely thrown in, and we were playing shows pretty much right away. We definitely had like a little bit of lull time of, rehearsals and different stuff. Um, but I think within that first year, we did like a US tour. We did uh, like we did 2 shows in Switzerland, like 2 festivals in Switzerland. And then we didn't do a whole lot that first year, just kind of readjusting. We did a lot of writing. We did a lot of studio jamming and stuff like that, and just
It's
kind of,
awesome.
yeah. So it was definitely thrown into the mix for sure.
Did you feel immediately like, oh yeah, this is where I need to be right now? Like this is the band I need to be in. Like I feel very comfortable with this.
Yeah. And I definitely I kind of got like dragged into like the garage rock world. Um it's the first band I joined. Sonic Graffiti sounds a lot like Wolf Mother or something like that, or
Okay.
like, Jack White inspired. And Drew, my old bandmate, would kill me for saying this. So, but it that is the truth. Kind of like 2000s revival garage rock kind of stuff, and I'm into it. It's cool. I don't listen to that at all. It's just not necessarily my thing. And then same with Plastic Pinks. Surf garage rock, really great, really really fun to play, super fast, super um liberating, and just kind of free. um but being like with music theory background, a lot of those people didn't know music theory, and it was like it seemed kind of more not about the party, but a little more less music based, if that makes sense, or
Hmm.
like refining your music and developing your music rather than just like, you know, give it your all, you know, turn it up to 10 and let's like rock out, which is fun. That's great. But like, you know, that's great when you're like younger. I don't know. It's not what I've always wanted to do, but it was again, opportunities I took to play. Um, but then I think Acid Dad was always the band I wanted to be in since, you know, day one. I actually really, really, and I can say this backed out because I wasn't on the first record. I really, really enjoy the first record, and I really enjoyed learning the first record. When I had to learn all the way through, I actually really, really enjoyed it as like a fan, which was fun for me coming into a band that I like enjoyed actually.
Yeah,
Um,
not many people can say that. It's like, yeah, I really dug this band, and I just ended up being a part of it. It's like you and
yeah.
Henry Rollins. That's it. That's those are the two people. So select
Yeah.
few.
But it made me really nervous too, because it was like, I really like this sound. Am I going to be able to continue this like thing they have going, you know, without interrupting it as an observer almost, if that makes sense.
Right? No, yeah, you didn't want to take add something that would throw it off or take something away from what it was originally.
Or given, yeah, or like, and also give an outside perspective that perceives the music differently than how they originally wrote it, kind of with the
Sure.
intent, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because you're coming from an outside perspective, as you said before. Yeah, definitely. And then, like, what an odd transition to be like a fan and then like inside of it as well. Do you still feel like you're not stepping on eggshells of any kind, but just kind of like double I mean, or double taking what you would bring to the table? Like, it's like, oh, okay, does this fit the narrative, for lack of a better term, of the what we're trying to do here?
Yeah, you know, honest, again, I struggled that for a while, but I think just with developing even like friendship between Vaughn, Sean, and I, it became that my voice was what it sound like. I don't think I've impeded since being in the band. I actually don't. I think as musicians we develop anyway, and I think Sean and Vaughn were developing out of what the first record sounds like in the first place. Their music taste has changed, or at least like their influences at the time have changed. And I think we kind of, as a group, started listening to music together and jamming together a lot more, to where it became where like, you know, on tour, we're all listening to the same records, we're all listening to the same stuff. So it's like we end up just like becoming inspired by the same thing. So it's just natural to sit down and like that's what comes out. Um, you know, but that also came with hours of jamming, and that's just what we love to do too, is just go in the studio and like get out our instruments and play and just mess around pretty
Turn
much.
up to 11, just
Yeah.
fucking go as hard as possible.
Rock
I
out.
get it.
Yeah.
How are you guys, especially you? I mean, like, how are you practicing the drums in New York? It just seems like such a tricky thing to do.
Yeah, it's been a struggle. It's been a real struggle for us. We've had a band space since I moved in. Basically, within the 2 months I was there, we moved another studio space. From there, we got basically we've gone through like 5 spaces. Um, One, we got like there was construction, so we got kicked out of that one. Another one we moved within 6 months, construction, got kicked out of that one. Then we found this really, really amazing spot in Queens where we actually had our dream setup. I mean, it was everything we ever wanted. We had a full-blown studio, we had a woodworking shop, we had Greenway Records working out of the back, like basically in our like compound, I guess you would call it. Um, and it was just a giant basement that was split up into different sections. Um, and then in I think it was August. Yeah, August, September, hurricane came through Queens and completely flooded all of our studio and basically lost everything. So then, as of like, God, two months ago, we're pretty much like back in our studio and ready to go. But yeah, other than that, it is a real problem, and like it's really hard to find places that not only can you practice at any time and that are like safe and secure, but also that we can record at. Um, since we do our own recordings, it's really hard to be in like a mass practice space when you have like a drummer next to you practicing all day long. Like we tried to record some of Take It From the Dead at one of our old studio spots, and like half of the takes we heard our like this drummer next door doing paradiddles for hours. Like so um yeah, it's a constant struggle, but we have a studio space that we rehearse out of. It's 24/7. Um, it's yeah, it's nice. We're pretty much just moved in there, so we have a lot of work to do. We're reordering all new equipment and everything, rugs and lamps and all of it. So
Yeah, I mean, when you, I remember hearing about that when it happened,
mhm.
and I mean, like, what was your initial reaction to like when you found out, oh shit, the space is flooded?
I was actually first one on the scene.
Oh,
Yeah, it
so it was
was.
you? It was your fault? You did it?
Yeah.
Oh wow, man,
Yeah.
that's fucked up, dude.
um, Actually, the weird thing was, I think it was like 8 in the morning. I get a call from our manager Harry, which was really weird because he he just doesn't call me that early in the morning. It was weird. And so I answered like, he's like, the fridge is floating. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, the fridge and the guitars are floating. And I was like, are you like high? Are you dreaming? Are you still asleep? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, the entire studio is flooded. He's like, I don't know what you're doing right now, but you need to. I live 13 minutes walk from the old studio spot, so I was always first one there when there was like any kind of issue of like, I don't know, whatever, someone to be let in or whatever. Um, so yeah, I ran down there and got there, and basically I couldn't even get to the studio because of the flooding at the time. And when I did get there, I opened the door, and the first thing I saw was hundreds of gallons of water rushing down the stairs. And
Actively, I mean, going down
actively,
there.
like
Oh
like
my
no matter what,
gosh.
if I open the door or not, it's rushing in like a waterfall.
Yeah.
And downstairs, you go downstairs into the basement, and there's a front door to open up. um there was water about halfway up the door already, and I'm on the phone with Vaughn. He's kind of yelling at me like, "Yo, go get the guitars, go." And I'm like, no, sorry, like I'm not doing it." It actually smelled like gasoline originally, and I thought, I don't know, something happened where a gas leak, like gasoline got in, and electric's still on too. So I was not risking going down there. Ended up just being wood like stain that ended up spilling and getting all over too. um so yeah, that basically was the start of a 12-hour day, and then 2 or 3 12-hour days after that of taking everything out of the studio and throwing it away. Everything, I mean, we're talking like hundreds of records from Greenway. We're talking like one of a kind posters from like any of our performances or things that Harry had. We're talking like any personal, like everything, literally like everything. We're just like truly lucky that it like was in our houses. You know what I mean? Like as much as that, like that was like our like, hey, at least we're alive and our houses are okay. That's like kind of where we were, as in like trying to stay positive. um so yeah, I mean, we were also in like disgusting water for all those days and just pumping it out. And um yeah, it was one of the like worst experiences probably of my life, honestly. But um, a lot of good came from it, actually, in a weird way. Greenway just got a brand new office in Bushwick, and it's better than what they had. I mean, it's like a legit office. It looks amazing, and our studio is really great. And yeah, I mean, it's an act of God or nature or whatever. So according to the insurance company, at least.
Man, dude.
um, but yeah, all that was a fight. Insurance, and because it's like you have renter's insurance and you have building insurance and band insurance and blah 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 blah, blah, and it's just like this. I still think we're probably going through it. I don't, it's but yeah, we're good. And honestly, too, we were really uh actually pretty shocked about how many people helped out and how many people just like shared it or donated, even like um just even random things like custom cables. Like we didn't have cable, like anything. Like people just like came out of the woodworks and help. And you know it's always one of those things you never expect to happen to you, and it does happen to you. People help you and you're like, wow, like this is pretty incredible. um
Yeah, because I think that was the first time I'd heard about. I just, somebody had shared it, and I was like, whoa,
mhm.
what? I was like, oh shit, like this is just flooded out. I said,
Yeah,
you know what? I gotta get Trevor, that guy Trevor from that to come discuss this. And
yeah,
here we are
totally.
now. No,
Here we are.
I mean, but to your recollection, what was the most expensive damage thing? Like, shit, that's a lot of money just gone. If it
um
a singular thing, if you could pinpoint it.
the Trident, our Trident board, um that was our main. I don't know how many tracks it was. I mean, it was like, I probably can't even like really go into how much was like spinning all together, to be
Oh
honest with
yeah.
you. But it's like, we still haven't really replaced it. I don't know if we ever will. I don't know if it can get repaired. But yeah, we bought it off an old friend, and it's like a really beautiful piece of equipment that, like, I don't know. I don't know if it'll ever come back. I mean, there's also a few like one of a kind guitars and things that were heartbreakers into. Um, yeah, but the Trident board was like really the one that was like, you can't find too many, and you can, but it's just like that one, that was our one, that was our board. So um yeah, that was pretty hard.
Ooh, yeah. That's a tough one. That's a tough blow, but obviously, as we know, as soon as it's down, I
Coming
mean,
back up.
everybody came out to help. It's all
Yeah.
Trevor's down. We gotta get him back up. Oh shit.
God
You
bless
know
everyone.
how people do for you.
Yeah.
'Cause everything's so fucking easy. Everything has just been a breeze for you
I
constantly
wish.
throughout your whole life. You know,
Oh man.
the Domino sponsorship, everything, man.
It's going crazy. Sprite too. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
what? Really? All
Yeah, I
right.
don't know.
That's that. No, it's awesome, man.
That was like a little shout out to Eric Andre. This one of my, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how you'd go about just picking up the pieces from that. But I mean, you guys did, obviously. That's just such a devastating thing to happen.
It was kind of we had a tour coming in October, with Frankie and the Witch Fingers, and that actually was like a really, like, all right, we don't have time to talk about this. We have shows in a month or less, and we got to find a place to practice. We got to find equipment. We got to do this, and there's really no time or point to like sulk around and feel bad, because it's like, it's not going to do anything either way.
No.
So, you know, we
Yeah,
really
did
didn't
you
have an option.
did you rent gear or did you just borrow gear to go on that tour?
We were able to, I think we had some guitars that were at home and stuff, that Vaughn and Sean used. I think Sean bought a new guitar just because he wanted to anyway, and he found a good deal. And I don't know, that's what Sean does. He loves buying guitars. And then
It's not a
our
board, but it's a step in the right direction.
yeah, exactly. And then our bassist ended up, yeah, we all just had enough stuff. And then I think we just bought stuff. Like, we just, like, with some of that money from the GoFundMe and some of that kind of stuff, and uh that really helped us, like, at least grab some pieces for tour. Frankie and the Witch Fingers helped us out a ton. I used John's drum set pretty much the entire tour. Um
Good guys, good band. Yeah.
yeah, we usually are like completely self-contained. We were in this tour as well, so we pretty much show up depending on the tour with our own board, our own mics, our own in-ear system. Like, pretty much we just need like monitors from the venue, more or less.
How does
um,
a sound guy like that though? It's like not enough.
at first they're
Not,
pissed, and then they realize what we're telling them, and they're like, cool, I'm gonna go find a joint and a cigarette and like chill, because I'm doing half of my job today, and they love us
I'm
90%
good.
of the time. But it's a battle at first, because we're bringing all this shit in, and they're like, what are you doing? We're like, don't you worry, you're gonna love us in like 15 minutes. Like, we're doing it all. So, like,
Hey, get the end of that board, man, if you can.
yeah.
Just like,
Yeah, exactly. It's a pain in the ass, but it's worth it to us. I mean, it's a lot of equipment, but to have, like, our own in-ear monitors, and we run click on some songs and tracks and some different things. So, like,
oh,
to
only some though, not all of it.
we run click on like 90%. I think there's like one song we don't. Um the goal is to run more tracks with just like some backing synth and all that kind of stuff. Since we do run click, it's easy to run tracks as well. Plus, Webb, our visuals guy, does it's synced with our show and everything. So our ultimate goal is to have like a very synced um show that goes with the visual representation and everything. It's going to be a whole like performance, basically, if that makes sense, like a
That's
thought out
yeah,
one.
that's
um
awesome.
and it won't be the same every night, you know. We'll have like sets, basically, is the goal. Because
That's
that,
not so awesome. I wanted the same thing every night.
yeah.
If people are following it, it's like I know the set list. I want to know it. You know.
Really, actually?
No.
Oh, I was
Yeah,
like, I don't
that's
know.
no,
Like, I
no.
hate that. It sucks.
Let me ask you this: so, do you,
Yeah.
when you go see a band, do you like it to sound exactly like the record does, or do you want it to sound different, not completely different, or maybe completely different? Who knows?
You know
Of
what?
what it usually
Sorry.
sounds like. Yeah.
I want the vocals to sound the same, and I want the core song to sound the same. Like, I really like when like um it's any like melodic bass, like like a chorus or a verse or something like that, something that's super memorable. Yes, but I love when a band explores, you know. I love when they nail the song and they clearly nailed it, and then in between the spots where they have jam spots, they're doing something you've never even heard before, or like, you know, an interlude, and they change in between songs and different things like that. But I really do like it to sound like pretty similar. um yeah, I guess. I think it's just like predictability. If I really love the band and I know their music, I probably have listened to it a million times, and also get versions in my head. So I can't really listen to other versions of songs even. It throws me off.
Right. Right.
Um,
Because you're so
like
used to this one thing. Yeah.
there's one Bob Marley song, No Woman, No Cry, he does, and like uh Lucille Ballroom, or not Lucille Ballroom, God, what's it called?
Lucille Ball
Lucille
in the room.
Ballroom,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
it's
Lucille Ball. That's a
the
dope name
London.
for a venue, dude.
That is sick, actually.
That's rad.
Lucille Ballroom, damn. Copyright, like.
Dude, yeah, yeah. That is trademarked. So don't even try to touch it.
One of the big, I don't know, one of the huge venue. Anyway, there's
Right.
this version of No Woman, No Cry my dad used to play growing up, and that's the only version I like truly know and like of that song, if that makes sense.
Right.
Uh,
No, yeah, I might because you this is the that's like what you go to when anybody would mention anything like that. Probably
yeah.
even probably Bob Marley, like, oh yeah, that version of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's
It
even
runs
small
deep.
things like, you know, in the first 30 seconds when the song comes in, the crowd cheers in this way that's like almost part of the song. And then he mentions like, um, they're gonna eat cornmeal porridge or whatever that line is, and everyone like cheers in the crowd. And like these little moments that interact with the crowd that make that recording like super special.
What it is, yeah, makes it what
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I really, you know, I like that. But I also understand of like it's really hard to do that, nearly impossible to replicate your recordings. So I give a leeway and a benefit of the doubt. Because we don't. You know, we change our songs like pretty much every practice. We're like, should we do Brain Body like way, way, way faster, like a country song? Like, should we do this song like this? Or like, you know, why not? It's our song. It's our.
And it gets stale if you just continuously do it the
Yeah.
same way. Yeah.
Yeah, and we have new influences and new sounds we want to try. It's like, you know, why not change it up, I guess.
Who is a recent artist or band that is just one that you just came across right now that you've been really digging?
So actually, I've known they've been around for like a minute, but for some reason I feel like I've slept on them. Is Crumb. I started like really listening to them probably like a week ago, and I cannot stop. Like, I'm obsessed. I think they're going to be like one of the bigger bands coming out in a long while. In my opinion, I could be completely wrong, but I think they're fantastic. Like,
I like to see the analytics on that. That's
yeah.
let me just tell you that. Yeah.
Who else? Um, oh, my friends, Nation of Language. They're an up and coming artist. They're really, really great. They're kind of like darky synth wave kind of sound. Um, and then another band, Bat House, I've been listening to a lot.
Oh, Bauhaus, yeah, they're cool, man.
No, Bat House, Bat House, Bat House. Yeah, newer guys, Bat House. Yeah,
kind of underground.
yeah, very underground. But yeah, they're originally a Boston band, and yeah, just check them out. They're really cool. They're a really cool band. A little more
Rad.
progressive. I think they have. They'd probably kill me for saying this because I know no one likes hearing this, but they're a little more mathy in the past. I would say a little more math rock in the past, I guess. Um, but I love that. So, you know, I'm a big Taramellos fan and all that kind of stuff. So,
Sick. What has been a concert that you've attended that just was just mind boggling? They're like, oh my gosh, this is such a great um show right now.
Um, I think seeing Kurt Vile was one of my favorites actually. Um, I think just because his recordings are so laid back, but his performances are really really fun. Um, and I got really really close to at the time, like photo kind of booth side thing, which was like really cool to like. I actually was like fake photo assisting someone, so I was like right up front and like kind of
Hold a
being
flash. What are you doing?
yeah, basically I was just like okay. Like, pretend to take picture once in a while.
Yeah.
Them and King Gizzard too. I wasn't, I really like King Gizzard. I'm not going to sit here and say like I'm the biggest fan. I don't listen to him on like, I would even say a normal basis. um but seeing them live was just like whoa, like wow, this is um amazing. Like this is really um I guess. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take some of those back. The most profound, I think, performance I've seen was actually Alanis Morissette. Actually,
I really switching gears,
yeah,
but you know,
yeah. It was just such a powerhouse of like art and music, and just like it. You can see that like wow, that's like why you're super famous, and that's why you get like paid all this money, and that's why like just like the amount of talent and stuff that like radiates off the stage on it's really wild to see, honestly. um yeah,
all
think
right.
that.
No,
Alanis
I like
Morissette,
it.
why not?
Yeah. What was? I mean, did you end up going to like you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but you said that you were going to shows just constantly when you first came out to New York.
Yeah, it was like nearly every night pretty much. If I wasn't working at a bar or something at the time. Since my fiance Devin was shooting so much, we would, I mean, like, why not go see bands, why not go hang out and meet people? And um it was really a great like un like I didn't really intend this to happen, but I networked a lot and met a lot of people just kind of being bored at show not being bored at shows, but just like Devin's up front shooting. I don't
Well,
really
I
want to
mean,
get
even
drunk.
Devin. I mean, that's what happened in that case.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
constantly networking. You're the
Exactly.
social network, dude. It's you.
I am Tom from MySpace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's your friend.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, going to a ton of shows. I mean, we also lived in Bushwick again, so it was like we had like Alphaville and Baby's All Right, and all the Brooklyn venues, like more or less a walk away from our apartment for
Is
the most
the
part.
Warsaw, is that in Brooklyn as
Mhm.
well?
It's like south-ish Brooklyn, but yeah, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. Yeah,
Well, I'm asking
I
you.
think the only time
You're the guy I'm gonna ask about it. You live down the street, man.
I should know. I do real estate in New York too, but I don't know shit.
Dude, you're a man of many hats. You got a lot of stuff going on.
It's too much, honestly. It's too much. I've only been to Warsaw one time for the OCs. They played there like I guess like 2 years ago. It's a cool venue. It's got pierogies, pretty neat.
Cool venue, great band, awesome dudes,
Definitely, definitely,
fucking
really, really awesome dudes.
terrific.
Yeah,
Some of the nicest
we
guys.
I got my old band Plastic Pinks played 2 shows with them in Puerto Rico. Um, Kind of randomly, the two guitarists in Plastic Pinks were from Puerto Rico originally, so they kind of had like a little bit of an in. Um, but the craziest thing, John Dwyer has like the craziest memory I've ever seen. Like he can remember faces and like remembers people. And it's honestly inspiring. So we played this festival with them probably 2015, and then we played with them in 2017 again. When we got there, we all kind of loaded out, and John walks up to our guitarist and he goes, "You're Rod, right?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I remember you, man. You wore the striped shirt." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, good to see you." And we're all like, "Whoa, how? Like, how, dude? Like, he meets so many people, so many bands. How? Like, I don't know if there was some circumstance, but I've heard from a few other people that he just has a great memory, and just like, um, I think it's important to remember people.
It sure is,
you
yeah.
know.
And he's just such a great guy, and
Hmm.
everyone else that is in that band is just tremendous dudes.
Yeah. It was a super
Paul,
inspiring
Tim,
weekend for me.
yeah.
Uh, Paul was just joining the band. I think it was one of his first shows at the time, and he said something to me that like kind of changed. Um, it was like very eye opening. He was just like, keep doing what you're doing. Just do it. Keep doing it. Like you're gonna go through bands, you're gonna go through people, whatever. But just keep doing what you're doing, and like you're gonna do fine, kind of thing. And I was just like, wow, coming from you, that meant a lot. Like that was like
Oh yeah, for
really like
sure.
nice piece of advice from someone who was kind of at this next level that I was trying to be at the time and stuff. So
Yeah,
um,
and Dan and Thomas, I mean, just all of them are just
amazing.
tremendous guys. They've
Yeah,
been nice enough to come on this podcast. If you haven't listened to those episodes, go back and listen to them. They're just tremendous.
it actually. I do my
Like,
research, man. I do my
oh,
research.
I'm sorry.
I
I
want to
thought
know
I
what
was
I'm
the
signing up
interviewer.
for,
No, they're just super nice guys. Just the top tier fellow. And when I have talked to Johnny, he's just super. Just couldn't be nicer. So.
And they're incredibly talented drummers and musicians, like
Oh
stupid
yeah.
good. Like, damn.
It's so I still don't understand. I mean, and you it always also perplexes you, I'm assuming, because just the how Dan and Paul are playing simultaneously but different at the same time.
I'll
It's
never
such a
understand.
no.
I've always wanted to experience like it's the coolest thing to be able to jump off of rhythm and melody with your bass player or your guitarist. That's fun. I've never tried it with a drummer. I don't think I've ever even played two drums at one time with someone. I don't think so. I don't think yeah, I don't know.
Maybe that studio just the guys doing paradiddles and you're
Maybe, yeah, exactly. But no full drum set. I really want to try that. I've been working at this, or I've been hanging out at this new studio that has two drum kits. So I'm going to try that on Monday when I go in.
oh
Definitely.
yeah, no, it's time.
Yeah.
It's this is it. If you need a motivation, this is it
Yeah.
right here. What has been the strangest show you've played that you're like, this is just wildly different
Um,
than anything I've done before?
we actually played an Air Force base once. That was pretty weird. It was really, really weird. That was
An
like,
active one, I'm assuming.
oh, very active, very, very active.
Are you serious?
Well, it was it's in near Mobile, Alabama. It's
I was just fucking around. I thought it would be like it was at one point. Uh, uh, but I mean
no, this is like fully active military base. Like we got searched down. Like it's actually kind of a crazy story. So Son of Graffiti, that first band I was in, we got picked up randomly by this little tiny label outside of Alabama, in Mobile, Alabama, from a random YouTube video with like 3 views on it. No lie, 3 views. One of the views was this guy who wanted to put money and put out a 7-inch and some records for us. So again, going back to what you're saying, those 6 people who are watching or what, like, you've had more views than that, I know for sure. But
no, I mean I'm just saying like some of them,
yeah.
some of
Gotcha,
our,
gotcha.
but
You never know. You never know who that
and I'm
person is.
glad I exactly, and that
And
leads
it's
to my
true.
next thing. Domino's. I know Domino's is always one of the 6, which I'm so stoked on. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So yeah, he kind of set up our record label guy at the time kind of set up this little tour for us to kind of promote the record in Alabama and some, little things he set up. And he was actually, one of his jobs is he's a veteran and served in the Air Force. So he actually set up like this little deal with his like sergeant where we would come and play like I don't even know. I don't even know why we were there. I think it was just because the government like paid us to be there. Quite literally, they gave us a really great guarantee. I mean, at the time for us, like I don't know, it's maybe like $500, which for the time was like whoa, like we've made it. We got like a keg of beer. They got like a keg of beer, like a shit ton of pizza, and
Domino's pizza, by the way. Good.
it was Domino's pizza, only Domino's pizza.
Only
um,
Domino's, yeah.
so our record guy was like, make sure you have nothing in your car. Like I don't no seeds, no like paraphernalia, literally nothing. So we stop before we rip out our car. We look for everything, and typically we don't travel anything. We try not to, but um, so we get through. It's super crazy. Like you go through the gate and everyone's like searching you down. They don't take your stuff out, but they're like definitely like eyeballing you. There's cameras everywhere. Then they take you to this like hotel room inside the base, and we had to stay there for like 3 or 4 hours. We can't just go around the base. They can't just like take us around. We had to stay in this room until our show, basically. And as we're in there, my friend opens up his guitar bag and falls out his pipe, his dirty pipe. And we look at him like, what are we doing about this? So we just hit it and there was nothing wrong.
Oh, I thought you said you hit it. You hit it like hit the resin. Or
no. Yeah.
So I mean, obviously we're smoking and we're having a good time.
Damn. Yeah, but it was pretty wild. Like it was actually really fun. Like everyone kind of like partied, and this one guy at the end, I don't remember what he said, but he walked up and he was like, I've never seen the sergeant act like this before, man. He came out, he was like dancing, man. This is crazy. I don't know what you guys did. But yeah, it was a really weird experience, but we left like pretty stoked, honestly. Like, yeah. Keesler Air Force Base. That's what it's called. Keesler Air Force Base.
Keesler. Okay, so I mean, if you are an aspiring band, be sure to go play there.
Yeah, government
check
money.
for pipes. So,
oh God, not very well at least.
So just go ahead, just bring whatever. It's kind of like flying with a weed in America. Yeah. It's like, if you took it from somewhere that it's legal.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, totally okay. Trevor,
we gotta have a disclaimer at the end, like this is not legal advice. This is not like
this is legal advice. I am a lawyer.
No, you're a lawyer? Yeah.
No. I am not a lawyer.
No, we are not lawyers. This is not legal advice. Do not go to Keesler Air Force Base.
But I am a fan of Domino's, and that is for sure. That is a fact. Trevor, dude, thank you so much for fucking coming on, man. But I like to wrap this up with some promos. So Acid Dad's music is everywhere. All streaming platforms, whatever you use, it's on there. Go check it out. Let's get those the analytics up on that, because Trevor will be checking it and he'll know if you listen to it. And the people should go get the vinyl at the shop.greenwayrecords.com. That's the best place.
Yeah, either that or on Reverb Appreciation Society's website as well.
Those guys are awesome.
We do sell on like Amazon and a few other things. I don't know much about it necessarily, but definitely go to Greenway and definitely go to Reverb Appreciation. 2 different versions, get both of them. They both sound better than each other. So,
each one tops the last.
Yeah, you got to decide. That's why you got to get them all.
Oh, there you go. And make sure to stream it on Spotify and Apple and Zune. You guys are on Zune?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
Right. Glad to hear it. All right, Trevor, is there anything else? Oh, you guys are going on tour in like April though, correct? It's way down the line.
Yeah. So we're doing Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. We're doing a run with Psychedelic Porn Crumpets. It should be April around May-ish. And then we have a lot of other stuff coming down the line. Some good festivals. We're doing Shaky Knees this year. We're doing a bunch of really cool kind of smaller festivals and different things. And then later in the year, and then 2023, we have a lot of plans for sure. A lot of touring. I think we're going to be on the road forever. So.
Oh, yeah. Sick. Okay, so I mean, they'll be around Air Force bases.
Mostly Air Force bases and
parties, Baby's All Right
parties and funerals and I don't know.
Yeah, weddings. You're going everywhere. Yeah, weddings. Yeah, they're open for weddings.
Yeah.
No, Trevor, thank you so much. Where's the best place? What is the handle exactly for the Acid Dad? Is it on Instagram or Twitter? What's the best way?
We're fairly active on Instagram for the most part. We fight over who gets to post this week, but
everyone's admin.
Yeah. Oh God, it's such a shit show sometimes. Yeah. Acid Dad 666 is our Instagram handle.
Make sure to have your mothers follow that.
Yeah. I know, my poor parents sometimes. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like,
I'm sorry.
Wear an Acid Dad shirt. I'm like,
with a jacket or something,
with a smile on your face.
Trevor, you're the man, dude. I'm gonna talk to you in a minute. I'm gonna stop recording. Thank you, buddy. Go see these guys on tour. That's it. All right, I plugged you enough, right? That's it.
It's perfect.
All right, thank you, boss.
Thanks again, man.